y'all, it's Chanel, and I'm here to tell you about how my wedding was nearly a disaster. Okay, let's hop right into it. So a little context, my husband and I met in May of 2018. We started dating that August, so just a couple of months later, and then we got engaged September of 2018. So everything happened pretty quickly, and once we got engaged, I was really excited about doing bridesmaid proposals. Like, it was something I had been looking forward to since before I even met my husband. I always knew that, like, once my time came, that it was something that I was gonna put a lot of thought into. And I don't know, just something about it was just so exciting to me. And I just jumped right into it. Like, almost immediately after our engagement day, I went into creating the proposals. Everyone came to my house for the engagement party, and I asked all of my bridesmaids there at the party. I think everyone was there, and I was able to ask all of them at the same time. Everyone said yes. Everyone was super excited. I was super excited. I felt, super loved, and was really looking forward to beginning the process. Immediately I created a bridesmaids group chat, and one of the first things for us to do was to have them go try on and order their dresses, because if you ever been a part of a wedding or have wedding plans yourself, you know that people who create your dress, like my dress, or even the bridesmaid dresses, it could take a really long time to get in. And then you also want to leave room for alterations. So it was the very first thing that we did. I put in the group chat, hey guys, this is where we're going to be getting your dresses from. This is the time of the appointment and the location, and we headed there. I'm gonna call her Emma. Emma couldn't make it to the appointment for some reason. I don't remember why, but I knew ahead of time that she wasn't going to be there. But once we got there to the appointment, I'm going to call her Aaliyah. Aaliyah was nowhere to be found. And so I'm calling Aaliyah, I'm texting her, and I'm just like, hey girl, where are you? Silence, dead silence. And so we continued on the appointment without Aaliyah, and they tried on their dresses. Everyone chose which one they would be getting, and I was super excited, but I was feeling a little down because two of the girls were not able to try on their dresses or determine what they were going to wear. So eventually Aaliyah responded back to me and let me know that she wasn't feeling good and that she was really sick, and that's why she couldn't make it. Mind you, at the time she was pregnant, so it made sense. Like, she had morning sickness, and I was like, don't worry about it, I understand. We later decided that we would be getting her dress off of online, like probably Amazon or something, because it just made more sense to get something stretchy for her, since she was very early on in her pregnancy and the wedding was in like 7 or 8 or 9 months to follow. So by the time of the wedding, she would have been, and she was ready to pop by the time of the wedding. So anyways, that was the first little hiccup, was just like the bridesmaids dress excursion and having someone just not show up and not be responsive. But again, like, knowing the reason, it was totally understandable. But in the moment before knowing, I was just like, what is going on? Like, this is not good. Like, for a bridesmaid to just not show up, The second little hiccup wasn't a super big deal, but before the appointment, I remember texting the girls, letting them know that I wanted to get brunch with everyone after the appointment, just so that we could all get to know each other and hang out a little bit and just talk or whatever. But of course, like I said, Aaliyah didn't show up. Emma wasn't able to make it to the whole thing for whatever reason, I don't remember. And then it would have just been my sister, me, Olivia, Ashanti, and Sophia. So I remember us being in the parking lot, and Olivia and Sophia were like, you know what, we're just gonna go back home. Like, we don't really care to go get brunch. And I felt so sad in that moment. Like, I genuinely felt so upset that they, weren't gonna come, because then it would have just been me, my sister, and Ashanti. And that would have been fine if it was like, oh, I just want to hang out with some friends, but I really wanted this to be like a bridesmaid brunch. The first time we all hang out together, was already missing 2 people, and then 2 of the other people were saying that they weren't gonna come. So I was really upset, but I think I remember just being like, it's okay, like, don't worry about it. But I guess they could see, the sadness in my face, I guess. So they were like, oh, no, we'll come, Chanel. Like, don't worry about it. We'll come. And I was like, you don't feel forced. Like, you don't have to. But they were like, no, we'll come. So they did. They came, and it was good. It was chill, whatever. So that was like the first few hiccups in the whole thing. Was just, that's what happened. So here comes hiccup number, I guess, 3, you could say. This one's a little bit bigger. I'm going to let y'all know now how I felt in the moment versus what I feel about it now, looking back, being older, 3 or 4 years have gone by, and rereading, the messages and whatnot. So this hiccup happened pretty early on. We were still discussing bridesmaid dresses and things like that. And one day, I think I was at work. 100% I was at work. And again, like I told y'all, we told Aaliyah that she could get her dress off of like Amazon because she needed something super stretchy. So I'm at work. When I worked at this previous place, work was always super hectic. So it was rare that I could get like a little break. So my bridesmaids chat was blowing up, and by the time I get to my phone, I see that the girls are just talking, and it was mostly Olivia and Aaliyah going back and forth, and they were showing pictures of Amazon dresses online. And again, like I said, Aaliyah was gonna get her dress off there, but Olivia sent a picture of a dress that she could wear for the wedding. And I was like, hold up. I'm sitting there looking like, when did we talk about everybody getting their dress off of Amazon? This is what I'm thinking in the moment. I'm like, no, like, this is not supposed to be a thing. So I'm like taken aback. I'm super confused. I'm just like, like I said, work had always been crazy at this place. I worked at a call center. I'm on calls back to back, and I get to my phone and see that another girl is trying to get her dress off of Amazon. And I was not feeling it. Like, I was just like, no. Because, again, this is how I felt at the time. I'm thinking, it's not what was supposed to happen. Like, these dresses that we were getting from the bridal shop were not super expensive. They were like probably $150 each per person or something. But they were high quality dresses, where as opposed to a $50 dress off of Amazon is going to be cheap looking. It's not going to mesh well with everyone's dress, in my opinion, at the time. So one person doing it, I was willing to sacrifice, but like more people, it just didn't seem fair to me, because why would, like 3 or 4 girls have to pay for the expensive dress while everyone else gets to have cheap dresses off Amazon. And so in that moment, again, I'm super frustrated, and I sent a text out in response in the group chat, basically just like explaining why I didn't think it was a good idea. And here's the screenshot. Pause to read. So that's what I said. I felt like I said it. I haven't seen this screenshot in years. Like, since I sent it, I have not seen it. I had to go back and find the text messages. So in that moment though, like, I remember feeling like, okay, I said it nicely. Like, I'm just explaining why, multiple people should not get their dresses off Amazon. I think that went over well. Like, I think it made sense. all should be good in the world. Shortly after, I get this long text back of Olivia responding to me personally, explaining how she felt about my text message. Here it is. Pause to read Olivia's response. So that's what Olivia said, and I was just sitting there like so confused. I was completely shocked. I was completely taken aback. I was upset because I felt like, genuinely in that moment, I felt like I didn't do or say anything mean. I didn't feel like what she said in the text message about me using that opportunity to like belittle her, I didn't feel like that was true at all. At all. Like, I would never do that, ever. And I made it clear in my text message that I really was not trying to be a bridezilla. I was not trying to be mean. I just wanted my wedding to look a certain way, and I wanted to thoroughly explain why I didn't want you to get your dress off of Amazon. Like, I did not, that's just what I wanted as this being my $15,000 wedding. Like, that was my vision for the wedding. And so I wanted to thoroughly explain that. I didn't want to come off as mean, but like I still wanted to get my point across at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be like stern and adamant about what I wanted, but I also wanted to be nice. And I'm the type of person, I let stuff slide all the time. Like, I'm never the type of person to like be mean, or I'm usually like a pushover. I usually let things slide. But once that day that I got engaged, like, it was just like, can people for once like make sacrifices for me? You know what I mean? Like, I was always, I'm still am. I've always been a giver. I've always been a pourer. I've always, you know, been the one to make every effort in friendships and relationships and everything. And so at this point, it just felt like there was hit after hit after hit for something that I wanted to do for once, for me and my husband. Anyway, I think that was just like the icing on the cake in the whole bridal party situation. But anyways, moving on, I was in shock. And when I got to the point where she was just like, I don't want to be in the wedding anymore, I was looking at the phone like, I was distraught. I was hurt. I was like, I didn't think that this would come to this. And mind you, like, before we even went dress shopping, I told everyone, like, if you need help paying for your dress, let me know. Let me know, because I will help. I'm more than happy to help. I don't want anyone going broke over a freaking bridesmaid dress. Like, that's not the goal here. So I was just like, instead of you getting your dress off of Amazon, you could just simply let me know if you need help. You know what I mean? That was the only thing I was trying to get across. I was just frustrated. Everything that I just said, all of that. And so for Olivia to say that she didn't want to be a part of the wedding anymore, I was like, that is not what I was trying to get out of the situation at all. And I really wanted Olivia at my wedding because she was a good friend. She still is. I still love her to this day. But it could have been super easy for me to just be like, okay, well, we just won't have that person in the wedding anymore. My husband could have easily subtracted someone from his side because he was just pulling people out of thin air, because trying to keep up with the amount of people that I wanted to be in my bridal party. So it wouldn't have been a problem. But I went home, and at that time we may or may not have been roommates. So I went home and was just like, look, let me talk to you in person, because I'm pretty sure I responded telling her like, that's not what I want, but she was not trying to hear it. She was just like, no, I am not going to be in the wedding. So I went home and was like, let me talk to her in person, and was just like, look, Olivia, like, I really want you to be a part of my big day. I really was not trying to bash you. I was not trying to undermine your feelings. I was not like trying to be mean or none of that. And she ended up agreeing to still be in it. Hopefully not just because I was, being pushy and practically on my knees begging, but just because she wanted to. So, that was a whole thing, but it ended up being okay. Like I said, we figured it out and we were able to move forward. I was supposed to say how I feel now versus how I felt at the time. That's how I felt at the time. How I feel now is I definitely do think I came off too strong when in my response to Olivia. I could have been, I could have worded it a lot differently. And of course, you know, with text message, what you are saying comes off. Like, you never know someone's true tone. It may sound a certain way in text message. So I should have been more concerned about how it was coming off via text message. And although I just felt like I was responding to what she said in the group chat because that's where she put it, I could have messaged her separately and been like, hey, I see you saying this in the group chat, but I wanted to message you privately and let you know this is how I feel about you potentially getting your dress off of Amazon instead of like putting it in the chat. But you know, I was not like trying to come down on her as a person or individually attack her specifically. I wanted everyone to know these are my expectations and these are my standards. But looking back, I really definitely could have handled that differently for sure. So moving on. The next thing that happened was, please listen in, y'all. Please open your ears and listen in on this part. My husband, my dear creative, visionary husband, wanted his groomsmen, him and his groomsmen to look like how Tobe Nwigwe and his wife looked for their wedding. I can dig it. They look great. I think it looked good. My husband had been a fan of Tobe, still is. Been a fan of Tobe Nwigwe since before any of y'all even knew his name. Period. He's been a fan. So he was like, that's how I want my wedding to look. And I was right behind him, supporting him, thinking, you know, great. Ciao, honey, ciao. This is how the groomsmen ended up looking. I'm gonna blur their faces because I haven't asked any of them if they wouldn't mind their faces being shown in this story time. So blur the faces, but this is how they ended up looking compared to his vision. It was doable, but it was nothing like we expected at all. And doable is pushing. Doable is pushing. It looked, in my opinion, it looked very cheap. And that was mainly the issue. It just looked very cheap. It looked super cheap. It wasn't our vision at all. But I mean, at that point, what can you do? So we gave them their outfits. But it gets worse. It gets worse. As y'all saw, he wanted to look like on his wedding day. Look how great that looks. It's formal, it's classy, it looks good. It looks good. It looks very formal, it looks very classy, it looks like it doesn't look cheap. It doesn't look like someone just threw something together. It looks great. As we were waiting, mind you, my husband's outfit that he ordered from a designer came in a set. Came with pants and there was a thing that this part was called that Tobe was wearing, but I don't remember the name of it. But it was supposed to come as the pants and that part. Tell me why this man that was designing the outfit and sewing it all together for like months, he kept saying, oh, it's not going to be ready until boom. It's not going to be ready until boom. It's not going to be ready till boom. At this point, we should have had a backup plan because it was not looking like it was going to be ready. So May 23rd, y'all remember what day I said I got married? May 25th. Yes, quiz time, May 25th for all of y'all that got it right. May 23rd, the man who created the outfit said, the outfit is finally ready. Come get it. Come pick it up. Come pay for it. All that jazz. So I'm thinking, bet. He barely made it, but he made it. So I go with my husband to pick up his outfit. And we get there. We see the outfit and our jaws drop. I'm standing there looking like, because what is this? This is not what we ordered. This is what we ordered, And this is what we got. You see that? That looks nothing alike. It don't, my husband, when I tell y'all, my husband didn't even try. Mind you, I didn't say anything. Because again, like I've been telling y'all, I'm very much, I'm typically like a very much a pushover. I definitely would have paid for it and took it home and probably figured something out later. My husband is not like that at all. My husband will tell you how he feels. He won't rude or nothing at all. But he was just like,
I'm sorry, man. I can't pay for this, and I can't take it home, and I can't wear it. This ain't it. This ain't what I asked for. This ain't what I was planning to look like.
It looked so cheap compared to what we wanted or compared to what anybody would want to wear to their wedding. Have you ever seen anyone wear anything that cheap looking to their wedding? I'll wait. And if you have, text me a picture. But it was just like some cheap green suit, quote unquote. It wasn't even a real suit because it was just some fabric put together. So on May 23rd, wedding May 25th, we had to go to Men's Warehouse, find him something different to wear, order the stuff. It didn't come in until May 25th, rightfully so, because it was like a 2-day difference. My husband was running around on May 25th trying to go all the way to the Men's Warehouse we went to get his outfit, which was in like Newport News, and travel all the way back across the tunnel. If you're not from Hampton Roads or don't know nothing about it, Newport News is on one side of the tunnel, and where my wedding was on the other, Bridge Tunnel in between. And that joint is traffic 24/7, almost, nearly. So he had to travel back and forth, go to Newport News to get the outfit, go back to the Norfolk for the wedding. On the day of the wedding, when he woke up, he did not have clothes to wear. A disaster. Stay tuned for part 2 because it gets worse.